Prepare for escalating suppression. State-owned enterprises in multiple regions establish armed departments. Chinese teachers are forced to lie flat by reporting activities that have become prevalent in China. 2 months after flood, water still unreceded in Zhuozhou village. It's all covered in today's China Truths. British intelligence: 55 members of the CCP's nuclear submarine were killed in the Yellow Sea. Reports have emerged suggesting that a Chinese Communist Party nuclear submarine, identified as 093-417, may have met a tragic fate in the Yellow Sea, with all 55 crew members feared dead. The British media cited an intelligence report from the British Ministry of Defence dated October 3, revealing that the submarine had become entangled in a Chinese Navy anti-submarine barrier, the trap created by China to ensnare submarines of the UK and the US, while on a mission in the Yellow Sea on August 21. This incident resulted in a catastrophic failure of the submarine's oxygen system, which led to the demise of all crew members, including 22 officers, 7 cadets, 9 non-commissioned officers, and 17 sailors. Among the casualties was Captain Shui Yongpeng, the submarine's commander. The report detailed that it took 6 hours to repair the system and bring the vessel to the surface. The onboard oxygen system had become toxic to the crew following this catastrophic failure. It's worth noting that as early as August 22, U.S. Navy submarine expert Sutton posted on his social media about a serious accident involving the Type 93 nuclear-powered submarine near the Taiwan Strait, where he indicated that all crew members have died. However, he cautioned that the information had not been officially confirmed and urged a cautious approach to the news. The reports regarding a submarine incident in the Taiwan Strait have raised questions, but no official confirmation has been provided by any nation. Speculation gained momentum when photos surfaced of numerous rescue vessels gathering southwest of Taiwan and near China's Shantou region. In response to these claims, the Chinese Communist Party vehemently denied any submarine accident, labeling them as entirely false. On September 12, when Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense was questioned about the purported Chinese Communist submarine incident, it responded by deeming the matter sensitive and non-disclosable. Before this, rumors had circulated about a submarine accident in the Taiwan Strait, about which Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense had previously asserted that no official confirmation had been received. The Chinese Communist Party's Type 093 submarine, in service for nearly 15 years, is considered one of the more modern submarines, measuring 351 feet in length and equipped with torpedoes. The incident is believed to have occurred in waters near Shandong Province, China. Historically, the Chinese Communist authorities have delayed the release of news regarding significant military accidents to maintain confidentiality. In an illustrative example, on April 16, 2003, all 70 crew members aboard Navy submarine 361 tragically succumbed to suffocation due to equipment failure. Xinhua News Agency confirmed this on May 2, yet the CCP Military Commission's subsequent announcement on June 13, which involved the dismissal or demotion of several senior North Sea Fleet officials, made no mention of the Ship 361 tragedy. Furthermore, Li Shangfu, the Minister of Defense of the Communist Party of China, has not made any public appearances since August 29, with multiple sources suggesting that he is currently under official investigation. Prepare for escalating suppression. State-owned enterprises in multiple regions establish armed departments. Recently, mainland China has witnessed a series of unusual events, as numerous state-owned enterprises have successively established military units known as People's Armed Forces across China. This development has raised questions among the public about the ultimate purpose of this move within state-owned enterprises. As previously reported, on August 28, the Shanghai Urban Investment Group established a People's Armed Forces directly overseen by the People's Liberation Army Shanghai Garrison, citing the need to strengthen the construction of National Defense Reserve Forces. Notably, during the inauguration ceremony, out of the 7 individuals on stage, 4 were members of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. The Shanghai Urban Investment Group is a large-scale specialized investment and industry group authorized by the Shanghai municipal government to engage in urban infrastructure investment, construction, and operation. It operates under the supervision of the Shanghai State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission. Nevertheless, the Shanghai Urban Investment Group is not the first state-owned enterprise in China to establish People's Armed Forces this year. Earlier this year, state-owned enterprises in Guangdong, Wuhan, Inner Mongolia, and elsewhere also recently established the so-called People's Armed Forces. According to publicly available information, the People's Armed Forces is a military department set up by the CCP at the county, township, and university levels, and primarily oriented towards serving as a robust reserve for wartime mobilization. Analysts believe that the CCP may be making two-pronged preparations. One is for universal military mobilization, and the other is for quelling the aftermath of the real estate market crisis and the escalating local debt situation, which is generating demands for repayment from various quarters. Following the Evergrande crisis, a series of real estate companies encountered difficulties, leading to corresponding movements advocating for rights protection. This includes property owners of unfinished buildings and investors who suffered losses in their principal and returns, among others. Historical and cultural scholar Zhang Tianliang analyzed that the primary objective behind the formation of the People's Armed Forces is to address debt collectors. The CCP regime's most probable crisis involves creditors seeking repayment, a situation that could extend into various sectors of society. Additionally, the CCP is grappling with a financial crisis, and ensuring the salaries of public servants is becoming increasingly challenging. Recently, there have been a series of collective salary negotiation incidents among public servants. These individuals are also likely to become the focus of the CCP's armed departments tasked with maintaining stability. Mr. Zhang, a mainland legal expert specializing in public interest, has offered an analysis suggesting that this move also is to address the employment challenges faced by retired military personnel, because there are now too many people reliant on state support, and ordinary citizens simply cannot bear this burden. According to statistics from relevant authorities from previous years, China has over 57 million retired veterans. Chinese teachers are forced to lie flat by reporting activities that have become prevalent in China. In a recent development, China's ruling Communist Party has implemented the espionage law, prompting widespread reporting activities primarily driven by state-controlled media outlets. This phenomenon has become increasingly prevalent, particularly within the realm of education in mainland China. Teachers across the country are now being reported for a range of seemingly trivial reasons, including incidents such as driving, perceived inadequacy in assigning homework, or even the choice of attire by female teachers. This surge in reporting has created a sense of apprehension within the education sector, leaving educators with little choice but to lie flat. According to a report published by the WeChat public account Beijing, it is commonplace for primary and secondary school teachers in mainland China to find themselves at the receiving end of these reports. These complaints cover a wide spectrum of issues, casting a pall of fear and disillusionment over many educators. The report cited the example of Li Meng, a mathematics teacher at a public primary school in Hubei province. During the spring semester, Li Meng was reported by parents on more than a dozen occasions. Astonishingly, some of the reasons behind these reports were so absurd that they left her chuckling in disbelief. For instance, Li Meng faced a report from a concerned parent for ordering takeout, with the accusation that her actions encouraged students to do the same. In a series of incidents highlighting the escalating trend of teacher reporting in mainland China, some truly peculiar and trivial reasons have emerged. One instance involved a concerned parent who reported a teacher for her choice of attire, deeming her skirt incompatible with the image of a people's teacher, expressing the belief that she appeared menacing and lacked seriousness. In another incident, a colleague who had been on the job for just 2 days found herself reported to the 12345 hotline by her parents. The grounds for this report stemmed from her perceived junior status and her possession of only a bachelor's degree, which, according to the parents, disqualified her from being a class teacher. In Chengdu, a teacher was reported for failing to inform the class about an essay competition, a supposed lapse in their responsibilities. Meanwhile, a junior high school teacher in Guangdong faced student-reported grievances over a simple seating arrangement change. The reasons for reporting extend further, with some educators accused of wearing makeup or using expensive bags. This burgeoning culture of reporting is undeniably having a palpable impact on the teaching landscape in mainland China, leading educators to question their commitment and engagement with their students. According to the report, Bian Lian, the vice principal of a high school, highlighted how the widespread practice of reporting has steadily eroded teachers' enthusiasm and their sense of duty. In a notable example, a teacher at their school, who previously achieved exceptional teaching results and garnered parental acclaim, eventually opted to relinquish their role as a class teacher after being subjected to multiple reports. They chose to focus solely on subject instruction and homework grading, shying away from broader responsibilities, citing an inability to shoulder the burden of potential issues. The report's findings have ignited impassioned debates among netizens, reflecting the gravity of the issue and the broader implications for the education system. Expressing their frustration, numerous netizens have drawn a connection between the escalating culture of reporting and the perceived influence of government authorities, particularly the Communist Party. Some have questioned whether the government's encouragement of reporting has contributed to this phenomenon. They point out that reporting has become commonplace in contemporary society. Data from as far back as 2010 reveals that several prominent Chinese universities, including Peking University, Tsinghua University, Nankai University, Renmin University of China, and Fudan University, implemented an information officer system. Under this system, each college appointed 5 student information officers with terms lasting between 1 and 3 years. These officers were primarily tasked with monitoring teachers and reporting feedback at least 20 times annually. Significantly, these student information officers were not responsible for conducting detailed investigations into reported situations. Rather, their role was limited to providing information. The responsibility for verifying the accuracy of the information rested with the respective colleges and schools. In recent years, the Chinese Communist Party has significantly bolstered its ideological control over educational institutions. This environment has made it increasingly challenging for teachers with independent viewpoints who are committed to rigorous teaching practices to thrive, as they face the risk of being reported by the omnipresent school information officers. One notable case involved Song Gengyi, a female teacher at Shanghai Aurora Vocational College, who was reported by students for her discussion of the Nanjing massacre's death toll in class. This report led to her expulsion from the school, underscoring the far-reaching consequences of the reporting culture within the education system. 2 months after flood, water still unreceded in Zhuozhou village. It has been 2 months since the city of Zhuozhou in Hebei province endured a historic flood caused by the government. However, to this day, the water has not completely receded from the villages near the Zhuozhou River in Hebei, despite numerous meetings held by the authorities, which have failed to produce tangible results. Wang Yang, a well-informed individual from Hebei, told the NTD's reporter that they've convened meetings 5 or 6 times, maybe even 7 or 8 times. But honestly, in the main urban area and the city, everything appears to be fine. However, when you venture below, it's essentially the same, with no significant changes. In numerous villages there, the water has essentially not receded, the silt hasn't been cleared. Nobody is currently undertaking this work. She added, it's just that in certain villages closer to the Zhuozhou River, the water continues to seep and does not recede because the underground is already saturated. Furthermore, if they attempt to drain it now, they don't know where to divert it. If they direct it toward Tianjin, it's already October. Do they intend to evacuate all those people? So essentially, I believe the possibility of flood drainage is nearly non-existent, and it can only be naturally absorbed. According to an official document obtained by the Epoch Times, local authorities in Diaohua Town, Zhuozhou City, have outlined plans for flood control projects, including south drainage, north drainage, and backflow prevention. The project, with an investment of 175 million Chinese yuan, approximately $24.3 million US, is scheduled to commence in October of this year and is projected to take 1 year for completion. However, as of the present, there has been no investment, and the project initiation is even listed as not approved. Furthermore, flood victims in Zhuozhou, Hebei, continue to face challenges in returning to their normal lives. On October 4, a flood victim named revealed that the government had pledged up to 3 months of living assistance for flood victims, Yet even this support has not been fully provided. He said, the amount of 33 yuan, about $4.58 per day that they used to provide has not been given for over a month and 10 days. Moreover, victims in Jiang Xiaoping's village have not received compensation for their losses. They said, even for the local residents who have passed away, no compensation has been provided. For the elderly individuals in our area who have passed away, their bodies remain in the hospital morgue, and there has been no mention of compensation. Given the waterlogged conditions in our area, and the presence of water in lower regions, we are unable to bury them. They are still kept in the morgue. As the weather turns colder, winter is fast approaching, and the disaster victims are worried about how to survive the winter. Heating costs have risen this year. The situation is particularly dire for the people in Baoding, Hebei Province, where they have very little, and prices have soared. Considering those ordinary people with no income, even if they received the first part of the funds, which was 3,000 yuan, there's been no word about the second batch of funds, and it's likely gone. Previously, flood victims in Zhuozhou had staged multiple protests due to their dissatisfaction with the authorities' handling of flood discharge and the delayed compensation for resettlement. However, the resident Wang Yang mentioned that the current authorities are maintaining strict control. She also disclosed that there has been a significant loss of population in the area after the flood disaster, as people are unwilling to continue doing business or living in flood-prone areas, and they are now exploring other options.
Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.